Jai Hare Krishna Radha Sundari. Jai Padma, so beautiful. Hare Krishna, you're so big now. Wow. Beautiful. Are you home? Are you now in Vrindavan? So sweet.
Oh, Praneshwari, I'm talking with you and my microphone is off. Oh my God. I was saying this time we are still in Mayapur, and this time we usually from Monday to Friday we are preparing for school because it's like 7:20 for us,
Okay.
and we are making lunchbox ready and hairstyle and dress. It's a big ceremony, and then after Zoom I'm driving her to school.
Okay. Very good. At what time do you pick her up?
After 2 o'clock they finish, and then 1:30 I think on Wednesday.
So very nice.
Yeah, after lunch I pick her up.
Lamoy Prabhu.
And
And Ami Yasindra, Dandavad. And Ami Yasindra is there with you, or is he in Kolkata? Still in Kolkata?
yeah, he's in Kolkata.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Maybe he will connect. I don't know.
Maybe. Usually he's asking me to remind him, and then he's connected. Otherwise he can forget or maybe sleep. But don't tell that I said. Maybe I should send him a link and ask him to join.
Yes, because last time that he was in Kolkata, Maharaj was not connected. So
Yeah.
he would love to have just like a reminder of those times in Kolkata with Srila Gurudev. So very nice.
Yes.
If he's there at Dum Dum Park, if he is somewhere, he can give us an idea of the city as well. Because Maharaj was there for so long that he has fond memories of Kolkata, especially very early in the morning, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I think he is in Dum Dum Park.
Oh, very nice. So please send him a
Okay.
message just to remind him.
Then I will do it now because it's time
Thank you.
already.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. How are you, Lilamay Prabhu?
Yes, I'm really good. Everything's perfect.
The way it has to be.
Today is a really special day. Today is Vyasa Puja of Trivikram Maharaj.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Maybe Gurudev can talk about something, some
Yes.
story or...
Yes, I have it there just to remind him. For this morning, there was the class with Bhakti Kushumachara Maharaj. And just at the end, someone mentioned, and he said, oh, I forgot, so tomorrow we'll talk about him. But with our dear Madhusuda Maharaj, good morning obeisances, we have a chance to do it on the proper day.
Govinda, Govinda, Dandavat, good morning, one and all. Oh, I should speak quietly. I should speak quietly because I got the windows open too. Because it's Thai hot here, even now in the morning. So we've got the windows open. I shouldn't speak too loudly. Dandavats, dear devotees, Paramananpu, Lilamoypu, Gauranath Rajpu, Jivana Devi, Dasi, Radha Sundari, Rupanuga Prabhu, and Anna Cosmoate. Anna, Hare Krishna, welcome. Maybe you have a devotee name too, I do not know. But very welcome. More will probably join us. I'm speaking quietly because the windows are open and we do have neighbors. However, yes, we just heard how today means the Wednesday day, the 3rd of August, is the official Vyasa Puja of Srila Trivikram Maharaj. But he's actually going to hold his Vyasa Puja festival on Saturday. That's going to be the main day, and they've asked me also to speak there. I have a slot for speaking there on, I don't know whether it's Zoom or however it may be. But in the meantime, we can say a couple of words in the morning program. And on Saturday, they're going to have the main program because, dear devotees, many devotees in Brazil work and they have to be at work during the day. So on Saturday, they're holding the festival. And let me just confirm, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, 6th of August. They're having a program. And noon here, and which I think is, so 12 minus 5, right? 7 a.m. No, 12 minus 5 is, yes, 7. So 7 a.m. it seems, having an early program for Maharaj, perhaps. Anyhow, dear devotees, first of all, let us give our obeisances. Priyanana Devi Rasi also joined us of St. Petersburg, but still with the flower from Thailand as her emblem. All right, very good. So let us give obeisances. And on Facebook, I don't know who is there. We'll have a look in the meantime. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Mahaviranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Name Godatuje Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Well, this week we've been reading and hearing a lot. Which way around? Okay. This week we've been reading and hearing a lot about the holy name of the Lord, which is seems to be a very important aspect of life in Kali Yuga, or should be an important aspect of life in Kali Yuga. And wherever I seem to pick up a book, wherever we're reading, looking at, when we're trying to find verses, etc., always this week, the name of the Lord has been jumping out at us. So we hope that this is a good sign for us all, that we should take to chanting the holy name of the Lord without offense. And so today, as a few words, not to take away from the main program on Saturday, but as Srila Trivikram Maharaj becomes 1 year older, then he is he's there in the Campos de Jordao ashram, with an ashram that's become 1 year older and bigger and developed. Everything is developing like step by step by step, year by year. And so on this day of his appearance, then it is always good to remember the Vaishnavas and who is bringing the connection of the holy name to so many places. We can say primarily Brazil, but Trivikram Maharaj, by nature, he's very sweet, and the devotees, wherever he goes, they're all attracted by his kind, honest nature. And so not only in Brazil, but in various places around the world, devotees have come to be inspired to receive the connection of the descending holy name through Srila Bhakti Vijay Trivikram Maharaj. So with his appearance day, then we also see that Gurudev had faith in him that he, as a leader, will be able to maintain the flow of the current of the holy name, that devotees can get connection to him, to Gurudev, to Guru Maharaj, to our line through Srila Trivikram Maharaj. And Trivikram Maharaj we've known from, well, as with many devotees, we've known from the early days of his coming to the mat, which is, I don't know historically, but it was in certainly the 90s, but I better not put a date on which day of the 90s, because I'm not exactly sure. But coming to the mat, and from the beginning, he was a person who, clearly has the leadership nature within him, and complemented, we have to say, Rohini Shakti, who is the lady who brought a lot of Shakti, a lot of energy into Brazil in the devotional form, and who gave the good association to Trivikram Maharaj. At that time, oh my goodness, I remember his brahmachari. Who can tell me his brahmachari name? I forgot. Anyhow, his brahmachari.
Ananga Mohan.
Ananga Mohan Prabhu. Okay. Ananga Mohan. It was Mohan?
I think we recently read that it was Gurudev's sense of humor, because Trivikram Maharaj is very good looking, so he named him Ananga Mohan Prabhu.
Okay, very good. Ananga Mohan. Okay, beautiful.
It's Ananga Krishna Maharaj.
Huh?
Ananga Krishna.
Ananga Krishna. Oh, anyway.
Not Mohan.
And you're sure, Paramanandru?
Pretty sure, Maharaj.
Okay. All right. Anyway, Ananga, I can give a tick mark to, and I'll just have to do a little homework before I write it in black and white. This is why Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, they say, what is written, then we must be very careful. And the not difficulty, but when we speak, now things are recorded. So we must also be very careful. Even if they're not recorded, we always want to try to get it right. But anyhow, yes. So Rohini Shakti, she had a very good influence on Ananga Prabhu. We'll follow the American style of shortening the names, just in case there's 0.00001% of doubt anyway. I'm not doubting either of you. And then Trivikram Maharaj came to Srila Gurudev, and then Gurudev, as history has shown, was certainly pleased with him. And one of the qualities that always pleases Gurudev is straightforwardness, like no diplomacy, just say things as they are, preferably, as we know, pleasing. But Trivikram Maharaj, he's so honest, he will say anything, things cleanly and purely, but some of the things perhaps shouldn't, in the sense of following the category of pleasing, we should just edit out a few of the very open-hearted things he expresses to the world. But that is one of his qualities. He's an open book. What he feels and he says. And so we have seen over the years that his devotional leadership in Brazil, connecting devotees to Gurudev and the Parampara, and distributing the books, doing public programs, and leading the the Krishna Shakti ashram, being the leader there, one of the two leaders, all credit to Rohini Shakti Didi, they are both leaders, but they're leaders in a different department, in the sense of Rohini Shakti has her particular group, which is very much drawn to her. She's a TV star in Brazil, and so she has her particular, is, I don't know, but she certainly was a TV personality, and she has a particular Shakti potency there. But Srila Trivikram Maharaj, he's with plenty of Shakti, and he has his section and group that he preaches to. And Rohini brings those kind of influential people to Trivikram Maharaj too. So that's where the devotees are getting their connection. And they have a beautiful ashram. In the world, it's a very special ashram. It's the side of a hill, and a considerable side of a hill, not just a small part. And I mean, other places to compare? No, it's in its own category. But we know the Sokal ashram is on the side of a hill, but a little different. And also Abkhazia is the side of a hill, but a little different. Abkhazia is very much cultivated, and they have the ashram building and devotees buildings. It's a different flavor. Everywhere's got its own nature. But nature of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Parampara, all of the essential things that makes home, home. And we know wherever we go, we feel at home when we understand that we're in the association of the family of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. When we are connected there, then we think, oh yes, here is home. We don't have to analyze, we just feel it. Govinda, Govinda, dear devotees. So Gaurangi Devi Rasi, Kalikadamba, Jagamohini, and Seva Rupa, Tungarasa, and Michael Madhava. I can see them on Facebook with us. So very welcome to each of you. I think I can only see somebody on Facebook if they actually send a little flower or some message, and all are sending obeisances to everybody. Some of it's in Portuguese, that I don't know, but Praneshwari knows what's being said. So the holy name, and those that spread the holy name around. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, any question from anybody today from an early, I'll ask at an early stage instead of a late stage. And Dana K, Dana Krishna, welcome also. And Naratam Nitai Prabhu, welcome also. You've joined us in the meantime. And I did see that from Chiang Mai this morning, that Munindra and Krishna Kantan Devidasi were given a chance to speak in their morning program, which we're very happy about. And I just saw the beginning part where Bhakti Lalita is introducing them. So I have yet to hear what they said, but I shall. Because we like to hear what the devotees are saying. And Dana K is sending flowers and hearts and stars, maybe. And I never know what that other one is. Ice cream cone or something like that. But looks happy. Not sure what it is. Narottam Nitai Prabhu, I have a question. So first of all, Praneshri is pointing out August is the disappearance of Sripad Ananga Mohan Das.
August 4th.
Ah.
Can you please remind us who he is?
Unfortunately not. I mean, all I can say is he is one of those dates on the calendar. that I'm unable to give any specific information about, but this is from the time of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. At least from the time of Gurudev, we can say, and I'd have to refer back if it was there in Guru Maharaj's calendar. But what was there in the time of Gurudev, and Guru Maharaj, we know that any names that are there are Vaishnavas of note. I mean, what can we say? So just to hear their name, and if I was a Shrutidar, I'm sure I could tell you something. Paramananda Prabhu is quite up there in the Shrutidar department.
Maharaj, I don't know much about this Vaishnav. I was actually hoping you may say something you heard of from Gurudev or Guru Maharaj. But like you said, or like Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami said, there are so many wonderful Vaishnavas that are no doubt worth remembering and talking about and glorifying, but I am unable to mention them all, and so please forgive me. Constantly he's mentioning that.
Yeah, and maybe, Priyananda, this is where we have this idea of Ananga Mohan, yes. Ananga Krishna, I think does sound right. Anyway, we'll do our homework for Trivikram Maharaj's appearance. But certainly it's not his disappearance day, dear devotees. Please don't let us mix up Trivikram Maharaj. But it could only be his disappearance day if we can say this is the day he took sannyas, and that is his name. But it's not that day, dear devotees. And yesterday, for the first time ever in my life, I was asked for pictures of my sannyas day, and it was for Saraswati Devidasi in London, who's doing some propaganda for some public programs taking place that they're planning in London and in England. And really, I have to say that that day was like my disappearance day. It's like, really, it was not expected, but you know, we have to die one day. So I had some like experience that, you know, we never know when we're going to die, but that day must come. And we know that, you know, if you live in the temple, one day you have to take sannyas. Well, that day was like that day had come all of a sudden. And we knew, okay, sometime in the future, I have to die. Sometime in the future, I should take sannyas. But it came rather suddenly. So anyhow, maybe that thought is in my mind about our disappearance. Mahananda's disappearance day was when he took sannyas. Except he's the same person with a different outer covering. Hare Krishna. Ananga Krishna confirmed. Hare Krishna .guru. There you go. I'm sure that's all.
Doubting that my name is Paramananda when I heard the different name of Trivikram Maharaj before sannyas. We did spend some time together, and I started doubting, am I Paramananda? I'm forgetting something.
Was I Mahananda? What was my name before? Oh dear. You see, and okay, anyway, okay. Do I tell you my mundane realizations? 2 days ago, yes, 2 days ago, no, 3 days ago, I went out, and just to get out, to get some exercise. We've been on the, you know, in here, so we put the headphones in, go for a cycle ride. And normally we can get water when we're out, because Italy's got lots of like water places, and they're on the map. They're on the like the trekker's map. So we're following the paths and going to the water place. But one water spring where it shows there's a spring, there's water, it's completely dry. The next one was like drop like this. And then I think, oh my goodness, I'm getting dried up. We're out cycling, we've come a reasonable distance. And so I went to a place where I know there must surely still be water. And when I went there, then I got water. Okay, I was very relieved. And then I sat down on a bench just near where that water place is. It's by a lake, which is on the way back to the temple here. And then I realized who is around me. Everyone around me is like 70 years old or more. It was like the old people's gathering, but the retired people's gathering point. And then I'm sitting there amongst all these old men. And I thought, oh yes, Krishna's put me here amongst these old people to remind us that we do have a disappearance day coming up. Our world, who are we sitting with here? Everyone here, gray-haired, losing their hair, old bodies, and they've had their life kind of thing, and they're all, thankfully, I don't know much Italian, so I couldn't understand their non-Hare Katha, no doubt, but you could understand it was quite superficial. And there I was with maybe 12 old men sitting on the bench, and everybody was old, which was a little realization. Oh, look, Krishna's brought me in with these old people. And then, terrible thing, a younger man comes along, and it's a nice lake, and he comes with his 2 young children looking very innocent, and he's come to teach them how to fish. And I think, oh my goodness, what kind of education is that? To teach your children how to cause pain to fish as sport. Oh my goodness, I see Gurudev's face. Oh, Gurudev's joined. Look, we see the faces of the devotees. It's Ajita Krishna in Russia. No, it's Ajita Krishna in America, right? Ajita Krishna in America, I think. And with Gurudev's face watching us. Hare Krishna. Jai Shila Gurudev, Shila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. So Ananga Krishna was Trivikram Maharaj's name in his earlier pastimes. All right, Narottam Nitai Prabhu writes, Maharaj, may I ask, how to become a leader as a devotee? I know appreciating and glorifying exalted devotees helps us also develop those qualities, but many times we have opportunities and actually a need to preach Krishna consciousness to other people. So how do we, when amongst ourselves, take the lead and do the needful? If this question is appropriate and in the correct mood, I'd really appreciate if you can help guide me. Well, one thing is that everybody has a nature, but actually Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to be a leader in the sense of tell others about the good things that you've come to hear. Share with others the good things that have come to you. And in this way, just automatically, when you are with younger devotees, new devotees, people who are non-devotees but should be devotees, automatically try to give some knowledge to them, try to share something with them, which you know and you can understand, or they probably don't know. And so in this world, so many people, they're interested in astrology, health foods, Ayurveda, yoga, all these things, various things that have essentially got their basis in the East. But it's an automatic, it should be an automatic thing that when we see that somebody doesn't have the actual guidance for where is the treasure of life, that we should try to distribute that. But to be a leader in the sense of like, oh, amongst the devotees will be a leader, that really needs to come from an upper section, from the established devotees, to give some recognition. It's not only we can recognize the higher devotees, but the higher devotees, we need their backing. And we're not trying to be leaders to get numbers or anything. We're trying to be simply friends in the family to share what we have. So the idea that when we see on television, like in India, and the Indian channels in the West, I don't know what's available, but you see in the morning programs, like literally like 5 a.m., they have programs, at least 3 channels in the time of Gurudev, where you see some sadhu sitting on a Vyasasan and maybe 300 or 400 people in front of them, and they're giving some talk on Bhagavatam or on something. But we shouldn't be sitting anywhere aspiring to sit on the Vyasa-san with the microphone and the TV cameras and have, you know, hundreds of people in front of us. That's not the aspiration of the devotee. The devotee is to share with whoever wishes to hear and not to want honor as a leader. But in the world, some people are naturally leaders in the sense of they have that, you can say, built-in charisma. And we can remember some people that we met in the past in the mundane world. I'm not sure I even remember his name now, but I do remember seeing the world champion heavyweight boxer on the train in London, of course, a long time ago, before I was ever a devotee. But he's tall, he's obviously a big guy because he's a world champion heavyweight boxer. And I forget his name, but everybody was looked at him, and also I looked at him. I mean, you can't not kind of take note of somebody who stands out like that. And you can say he had built-in charisma or something. So, you know, there are people like that in the world, but we are not aspiring to be like that. We are aspiring to be actually the opposite, to be, what is it we're meant to be? Humble, tolerant, give honor to others, not want respect for ourselves. But to distribute, we must essentially be as careful as possible to distribute correctly what we have. It may not, you know, what we have, we know it's not everything. So it's not a question of it may not be everything. We know it's not everything. It may not be the highest grade. But what is the highest grade? Now, to keep one's heart simple, worship Mahaprabhu. How to worship Mahaprabhu? Through chanting the holy name. Respect the Vaishnavas. Don't see faults in the Vaishnavas. Things like this. They may sound like very basic. It's not coming out with many Sanskrit words about the gradation of the higher plane of the spiritual world. But the gradation of the higher plane of the spiritual world is being told to us, so we know it's there. We're hearing about that plane. But to achieve that entrance to that plane, we need causeless mercy. Causeless mercy comes by us making ourselves fit for that and attracting the residents of that world to be causelessly merciful to us. And then they simply want to see faith, chastity, sincerity. But to want to be a leader is maybe not a good thing. It's not a good thing to put in our ambition plane that I'm going to be a leader. We want to be a servitor. And it is a bit of a sad world if we can't find a place where I can be a servitor. Everywhere, every temple that we go to, we should try to be a servitor. What service can I do? And if they ask me to clean the toilets, we should be happy. Okay, I clean the toilets. If we are not a servitor, then how can we teach service? That's another matter. I mean, we have to be in the mood of service when we are sharing what we have. And you see this picture that Ajita Krishna has? Gurudev is looking at us. So let us also think, what does he see? And here it's too dark maybe, but this picture, too dark. This picture, when we sit on the ground to the left of Gurudev's bed there, like Gurudev is directly looking at us. And with his sweet smile, we always have to have this reference point. You know, am I in the good books of Gurudev's sweet smile when he's looking at us, or am I in the bad books of Gurudev's sweet smile when he looks at us? This is our measuring stick. And if you have the opportunity to preach, to share, just do use that opportunity, but be careful to distribute what you know is right. And what we are question mark about, then we won't say that. And also, we should be careful to assimilate. What do we know about Srila Prabhupada? What do we know about Srila Guru Maharaj? What do we know about Srila Gurudev? What do we know about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? We should discriminate, like, where are we hearing this from? Is this reliable? Is this not? Etc. So we should try to hear as carefully. We should try to understand where we are hearing from. We can hear from many places, but we must try to understand, okay, from here I heard that such and such, such and such. Then I can consider this is safe. From here I heard, who copied it from the Facebook, who heard somebody said, oh, I think this was that, and then it becomes that. Then what we read there, it may or may not be accurate. And so we don't want to pass on rumors which turn into reality by, conceived reality by repetition. We don't want to pass those things on. We want to pass on the things which we know as solidly as possible. And that's where the books and the recordings are very helpful for us. And out of the two, for most devotees, the books are safer for us, because we definitely know that hearing the recordings, seeing the tapes, we definitely know from native English speakers that the message doesn't always come through, mishearing, not understanding Gurudev's intonation, not understanding Guru Maharaj's intonation and expression. Whereas the books, then they have been very carefully presented and checked and double-checked, and what goes into writing, as we said at the beginning earlier on today, what goes into writing, then scrutinizingly, as carefully as possible, it is accurately presented. So this is very helpful for us, but to read the books with the devotees is also more helpful. So this way, it's not only facts, it is catching accurately the facts and the mood of our masters. And I know that in my earlier days in ISKCON, some impression of the strictness of Srila Prabhupada, that like an army, bit like not really an army sergeant or something who's giving strict orders like this. It came across a little bit like that from the devotees who I was mixing with. Srila Prabhupada said this, like we have to do this. But then when we come to meet the devotees who were with Srila Prabhupada, not only with, oh yes, I was in a lecture of Srila Prabhupada in 1972, but those who were with Srila Prabhupada and in his service, we also find Srila Prabhupada was super sweet and humorous, and all the nature which we associate with Gurudev, with Guru Maharaj, very human, as well as being, of course, deep in spiritual understanding and realization. Realization is realization, revealed truth. So they are our leaders, and this is will always be the case. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, they are our leaders. And as much as we can understand them, then we are going to be safe and sound. Hare Krishna. Hot principle. And yesterday, oh, we have guests. But I saw one of our guests, but now I don't see one of our guests. Not guests, family members. Seva Rupa Devirasi has arrived from South Africa along with her. Oh, here she is. You were hiding from us. Did you have a different name on your maybe you had a different name. I don't know. Anyway, here's Sevarupa Devidasi. She can't speak because she's sharing a room with 50 other ladies or something. Brahmacharini style in the ashram here. But so Sevarupa arrived yesterday with her tall 21-year-old son and with Mathura Basini Devidasi, who hosted, she and her husband, Prema Sindhu Prabhu, hosted Gurudev in South Africa, developed the ashram in South Africa. I mean, wonderful history. And yesterday evening on the Italian Zoom, then Mathura Basini, she's reminded us the expression which I haven't used for a long time. And she said, and Gurudev's hot principle. And then Shantimoy is translating. And then she's hot. Then we had an opportunity just to remind ourselves. Gurudev's hot principle, humility, H, honor to others. Oh no, offer, oh, okay, offer honor to others. That's where the O comes in. Offer honor to others. And T, tolerance. This was Gurudev's, the kind of title they gave Gurudev's first world tour, during the tour and when he came back. And then that stuck. And so until today, then you see Mathura Basini saying, this hot principle of Gurudev, it really works. And then devotees are thinking, hot. So humility, offering honor and tolerance. This is our principle for devotional service. Hare Krishna. So Sevarupa Devidasi isn't actually, she's escaped from the dormitory with the ladies, but still, she's just sent me a message saying where she is. But the difficulty is, if you speak, I know that some of the devotees will wake up, will be a little, okay, we should say the devotee should be waking up. It's 4:38 in the morning. We should be banging a gong and getting them awake. But we'll have a little mercy on the Vaishnavas. Give them one more hour to be with Krishna in their dreams. And then the stark reality, wake up to be surrounded by devotees. Hare Krishna.
That's a blessing, Maharaj. Maharaj, Priyanana Devidasi is on the spotlight because she has something to tell you.
Oh, she does. Okay, to tell us all. And we have lots of devotees with us because many will be with us. We can't see because many do see offline, yeah, the recorded version. So yes, Priyanana, to share with everyone.
Actually, that was a question.
Oh.
Maharaj, I just wanted to ask, as many people come to your ashram, of course, I mean, how do Munindra Mohan and Krishna Kanta, did they present you? And what do you start your speech with? I mean, is it something like, so to say, far related to Krishna consciousness, or is it like straight to the point? How do you like estimate your audience, or you just speak of what to start with?
Okay, so how Krishna Kanta and Munindra Mohan introduced me is they ran away from the ashram to Thailand. So they're in Thailand right now, in Chiang Mai ashram. And they are there. And I'm going to hear their talk today because they didn't talk in the morning program the last couple of days. And I was expecting everybody will be wanting to hear from them. But I expect they'll be talking with the devotees, like privately, I suppose. But on the Zoom, on the Instagram, the others were going on and they were sitting humbly in the audience. But they have lots to share. Anyhow, so they're there in Thailand. But how do people introduce me? Well, I'm not sure, because it's all in Italian. So that's good for me, because I can't object, can I? But they're introducing Krishna consciousness. And I think, well, one of the main things we do understand is And here's Madhusudan, and he was with our Gurudev for many years as his servitor. And as the coordinator of the Western world, which is the fact. And so, you know, if they're interested to hear about Gurudev from that angle, we can share lots of things. But we have family, everybody's family. You can ask Seva-Rupa, she just arrived yesterday. How did they introduce you to me? Oh, you can't speak, you're downstairs, unless you speak softly into the microphone.
Dandavat. Can
Little louder.
Little louder, okay.
Did you close the door, by the way?
No.
Maybe you should close the door, because they do hear upstairs when you speak in the room. Just close the door and come back.
Okay.
Okay, there you are. And by the way, they arrived yesterday. I was in the garden, and we were just seeing what was happening in the garden. And Seva-Rupa, her son, and Mathura Basini arrived at the same time as returned in another car from going out in the morning and coming back, the mother and brother of Nadia Sundari. So they are also here. And the brother of Nadia Sundari, they're 14 years old. And he's quite surprised to be in an ashram, I think, looking with his big eyes, seeing me, and couldn't hold back his surprise to see his sannyasi. Wondering, where am I? Where have I come to? Anyway, Seva-Rupa did it. I'm sure now we've lost Seva-Rupa again.
No.
How do we lose her? I can hear her, but I can't see her. Oh, because it's black.
Because I'm in the dark. Yes.
Okay, okay. Anyway, I'm sure they didn't introduce me to you to me. But tell me you say something, you share something.
Okay, so Shanti Moy fetched us from the airport, and we were just excited to see each other, and she wasn't sure if I met like Gurudev before, Mansuman Maharaj, and she was just like, oh, okay, so you didn't see Gurudev, and I think I just had a smile on, and she was like, yeah, I thought you didn't meet him in person before. And I think Mathura Vasini also asked, you know, can we just freshen up? Can we just, you know, because we had like a 14-hour flight. And then Shanti Moy said, I think Maharaj is going to be out already wanting to meet you. So as we drove in, we just saw Maharaj. He was in the garden holding something, and we were like, you know, we like all look like we've probably been hit over by buses, but just like, Maharaj, we jump out the car, pay our dandavats. It was just so sweet, so natural. There's no, I think you can't even prepare anything. It's just spontaneous, you know. And also, I think my son hasn't really experienced this life before, so it was a bit of a shock for him. And all I said is, you know, how we pay respects is we pay dandavats. So he's still absorbing it, but I didn't really say much. But Maharaj is super sweet, like how he's explaining it, just so natural. So, you know, it doesn't feel like there's any strain. It is like a super sweet family life. I know family life in this today, there's bickering and that, but this is like everyone's doing, and young devotees, you know, everyone's doing it's like everyone just naturally coincides. And yeah, everyone's excited to be at every program, and yeah, it's, like they say, mind-blowing, yes. Or it's not even with the mind, it's just your heart is just in it. It's totally in a different place. It's, yeah, you can't put it into words.
And all of this is the arrangement of Krishna Kanta, Munindra Mohan, Shanti Moy, and Madhurananda. They've made this ashram, and we've We've come in here really as a guest. We're passing through, essentially. And so really, all the credit is theirs, and it is the family. And actually, one thing yesterday was kind of very noticeable, how it was the first time that we'd met Sevarupa Devirasi, because we've been on Zoom and been on so many Zooms and things, but it was absolutely, we've met. It's not the first time we're meeting, which gives, and from both sides, and Sevarupa also to Shanti Moy saying, yes, but I already know you. It's not our first time meeting. So this does also give some illustration how the Zoom and these different ways of maybe Skype or WhatsApp or whatever it may be, it does give us like direct communication as far as possible. So this is another way. Anyhow, Priyanana Devidasi, everybody is different, and we just we want to be natural. And so who we're speaking to, when we speak to Sevarupa Diri's son Nikhil, we maybe speak in a little bit of a different way. We found out he likes sport. Yesterday, Rituraj came and he's a sport. Oh, we found out that Nikhil likes sport and football. Yesterday, Rituraj came and joined us in the evening, and he plays football for the local football team, and he likes sport. So we find the common ground, and then try to share a little bit about Krishna, this, that, and the other, but we don't want to force anything on anybody. But in general, if people come in through the gate of the temple and they're not dragged in by their mothers, then we think, they have some interest to learn about Krishna consciousness. And when they may be that they've been persuaded to come, then we'll make it a little more gentle for them to get introduced to Krishna consciousness. And he's Nikhil, for instance, using today's example, then he's sharing a room with another 21-year-old. And that is our Gopal, Hari Gopal from Latvia. So some association with a lively 21-year-old devotee. We hope, if you're listening, Hari Gopal Prabhu, no, he's a devotee. He's a lively 21-year-old devotee. And we start thinking, 21 years old. Hare Krishna. Everyone's okay, because I'm talking, everyone's very quiet today. And we have very capable, you can say leaders, following on from Narottam Nittai's question, automatic devotees who just share, and therefore they're leaders. Priyanana is also a leader. Jivana is a leader. Rupanuga Prabhu is a leader. He tells things. All are leaders. Because what we can say to others, and Chintamani is with us, she's a leader. But not that the ambition is, we're going to make a big chair. If I start teaching people, then we can become famous and be on the 5 a.m. slot on the television in India. First of all, you'll never make it there, I don't think. And number two is, not the ambition.
We are on a 5 a.m. slot on Zoom.
Yes, you're all leaders on the 5 a.m. slot on Zoom. Can we ask Jivana to say something? Actually, it is most proper to ask Jivana. Jivana is on the Zoom part of our meeting. She's certainly the senior most devotee. Sorry to Jivana. I know you're only 21 years old, but however, you're also only 21. However, please, a few words from you to give some nourishment to the family of devotees as a leader.
Oh my goodness, well, I'm always just very grateful to be allowed in this association, that nobody throws me out, because they don't have that kind of mood, thank goodness. But because it was asked me to say something, well, I don't know, maybe I already said this, because you said you were talking about the Hare Krishna mantra and the importance of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And of course, we have the famous verse of Mahaprabhu's of Harinam, Harinam, Harinam Kevalam, Kaluna Steva Nasteva Nasteva Gatir Nata, which is basically means that really chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is the only way. It's like the path out of this material world and this kind of desperate, miserable situation that somehow or other we have flopped into. And but we can get out of it. Somehow there was some wrong decision somewhere way in the past, or some wrong thought that brought us here. And then we got very conditioned and very contaminated by everything here. And then it makes us completely bewildered and illusioned, forget completely who we are. But by the grace of Gurudev, he's enlightened us about Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu's teachings. And that was Mahaprabhu's, one of his really basic advices is just chant Hare Krishna. If you can just chant the holy name, think of your Gurudev, think of Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, and chant Hare Krishna. And then somebody was asking, so the reason I'm giving the little preface is because somebody was asking Srila Gurudev, what should be our mood when we chant Hare Krishna? Which is, of course, a very good question. And Gurudev replied, he said, at present, don't think about anything, only pray to the Maha Mantra, please give me shelter at your lotus feet. So that's a really nice thing if you think about it in so many ways, because we get ourselves in so many difficulties in the course of the day. For myself, always forgetting this, always forgetting about Krishna, always thinking there's some big dramatic thing going on, like my root canal, for example, and how in the middle of that, to remember that the Gurudev's verse from the Prabhupada Jivanamrita, that surrender means to take shelter of Krishna in every time, place, and circumstance. So even I'm sitting in that dentist chair and I'm just trying to telling Gurudev and Krishna, really all I'm thinking about is, I hope this is okay. I hope this doesn't hurt too much. But really what I want to pray at this time even is that, can I just please in every circumstance, think of your holy name and think of how grateful I should be that you've given us this Hare Krishna mantra. So that was, that kind of came to me in the dentist chair the other day.
And
that continues to be my prayer. No matter what's going on, can somehow or other this just somehow find its way into my really, really fully contaminated, dirty heart, but find its way in. Krishna's a thief. That is our good hope. He can steal his way into anything.
that sounds like a good end. He can break in. Oh, sorry about the root canal thing. Oh dear. Even, we have to keep going for those COVID tests when we take, trains and different things like that. And even there, we go in, we know they're going to stick the thing up our nose. We know we're not the body, we're all these things. But still, we've got two different places we go to here. Nirupama, she knows well, she's staying here. She's joined us also there with Seva.
Oh.
But one of the places, the lady who does it, she's an older lady. And really, why is it necessary to drill, like a drill to go inside? And we're sitting there thinking we're not the body. But now we found another pharmacy where there's a gentle man. He's a man, but he's a gentleman. So I suppose a gentleman. And he puts it very gently and thinks, okay. But still, in both cases, when we go in, we know what's going to happen. We know we're not the body, but we still cannot be separated. And we think, okay, we're so attached that we are the body. If we were really detached, they could do whatever they like. And we heard, again, this is not exactly reliable. As we were saying, we must think about where we get something from, but it fits the idea, at least, that Srila Prabhupada apparently had to go for something in the hospital. They were giving him anesthetic, but he's not going to sleep. And they said, we're giving you so much anesthetic, but you're not becoming unconscious. He said, oh, you want me to become unconscious? And then he became unconscious. Now, if again, it's one of those Srila Prabhupada things, but this idea that really to be separate from your body, that all these things, it is very difficult for us. But to chant Hare Krishna, we know where we are, but we have this body, we're connected to it. We're in this world in Kali Yuga. And actually, when we know where we are, it's a wonderful time. And that's actually something that Mathura Basini pointed out yesterday. It is a wonderful time. It's just that we can get drowned in the material world. And Gurudev uses that expression of drowned about Maya, the material world. He said, the illusion is all around us, but we mustn't become drowned in that. We mustn't allow ourselves to be drowned there. So we know that everything is wrong, but we will keep to what is right. And that is, we've got the holy name, we've got the Vaishnavas, we've got the guidance, the hot guidance, as we've been reminded of yesterday. And we'll continue. And by the way, Gaurangi sent a Jai to Rituraj, and pointing out Rituraj, who is from Venezuela. She points out, yes, you have your Venezuelan football player as a devotee here, living one train stop very close, just down the line. And he's a good soul. You can see by his smile, and he always has a smile. And he's a good sport. He'll face a challenge, and always with Krishna consciousness, all topics only about Krishna consciousness. So yes, Gaurangi, Jai to Rituraj Prabhu. I shall pass on your Jais and let him know when we see him. Oh, later today he's coming by. So he'll be here today too. And Jai to Jivana Devi Dasi. Not from Venezuela, this Jivana anyhow, not from Venezuela. She's a true Californian, not sure where your birth is, but a true American. Just see. Rupanuga Prabhu, you look like you may want to say something. Would you like to say anything? No? Okay. You're not driving your car today. I hope it's not broken down, or, as did happen once, I hope it's not stolen. Poor Rupanuga Prabhu, he filled his car up with petrol, or gasoline, as they say in America, went to pay at the booth, and someone drove off in his car when he went to pay for the petrol. At least the thief knew he had a full tank of petrol.
Maharaj, I was just thinking of Rupanuga Prabhu, and you put him on a spot, but I may encourage him to say a few words by remembering what he said to me while we were in India. Rupanuga Prabhu, do you remember that? I'm not seeing him. Oh, now
we can see him, but he needs to. Yes, click open the microphone.
I said a lot of things in India.
Yes, Prabhu, we talked, and I asked you what was the a spot that we can say, something that has really inspired you during this trip. And you said so many things are wonderful. Every day was wonderful, but something that really amazed you. And you said, and I asked, what was that? And you said that the fact that 5 fully grown men can stay in a small room with one bathroom happily together, that totally amazed me. Until this day, I remember you said that.
I remember your quote, if it's auspicious, do it now. And I did. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
And I must declare, I'm in Bangkok at the moment. But I'm heading to Koh Phangan, and I probably can't get up to Chiang Mai, but if I can, I will.
Even for 3 days, for 2 nights.
I might
3 nights. You see if you can go there. You'll be very happy to go, Prabhu.
And yes, come. On Saturday, we're going to be in the company of Munindra Mohan and Krishna Kanta, so we will meet them finally.
Oh, really?
Come over. Okay. We will pick you up. Fly in on Saturday.
Okay, I will try.
And that's why you're not driving your car, because you're in Bangkok. Jai.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Praneshri, Sevarupa did his description has reminded Paramananpu of Srimad-Bhagavatam Gopakumara arriving in Goloka. This is her arriving in Vilagovinda Ashram. But Vilagovinda Ashram, also I can say that Sevarupa, they were, I mean, many things obviously they observed, but they were saying in she and Mathurabhasini, seeing the trees and the garden and the vegetables. I mean, really, they were astounded by how many fruits, like that small pear tree, like every possible place a pear could grow, there's a pear growing on the pear tree. And when she was looking around the garden, they were looking around the garden, then also maybe Nirupama, somebody was picking apples. They were picking apples from the apple tree, and Nirupama was picking apples off the apple tree. And Kamala Sundari had been collecting vegetables from the garden. So also seeing the garden and seeing the savor of the devotees, but seeing the fruits and the trees on the trees. And then, yes, and then at the entrance above the gateway into the garden, there's a Srimad-Bhagavatam Verse. And that verse, you saw that verse yesterday, where we put the 6 apples there on top of the newly printed verse, so they wouldn't, we use the apples as a weight to stop a piece of paper flying away. And that verse is the verse from Bhagavatam, which describes about that when Krishna is walking in Vrindavan, the trees are bowing down with their fruits and flowers in offering to the Lord. The trees are giving shade for the putting their branches out and giving shade for the Lord and his devotees, and the service rendered by the trees in ecstatic love. That quote is at the entrance to the garden, and the public see it. This is just behind the kiosk, the kiosk that's open at the weekends. So, yes. Hare Krishna. Okay, dear devotees, Harinam. This week we've been reading about the glories of the holy name repeatedly. So much hope. And today in, well, the western side, Srila Trivikram Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. And they're giving so much hope to so many people. And all over the world, wherever we've got some connection with the descending holy name, we should try to hear, hold on, connect, and make our life successful. Hare Krishna, dear exalted devotees, really respectful devotees, every one of you, all respectful devotees. My humble obeisances to you. We're here together and appreciating every moment. Let us remember whatever things we do, remember. Like this hot principle, we're reminded, humility, honor, tolerance, the hot tour of Srila Gurudev. All of these things we need to remind ourselves. And we just heard from Rupanuga Prabhu, if something is auspicious to do, do it immediately. And if something's inauspicious, the other part of that is if something's inauspicious but needs to be done, delay it as much as possible. And by the way, Rupanuga Prabhu, now we've got, I think, at least 5 grown-up ladies sharing a room together, I think with 2 bathrooms, but maybe only 1 bathroom. So the devotional life continues.
That Rupanuga Prabhu, even more inconceivable than 5 men sharing a single bathroom and a single room.
Now Paramanand Prabhu.
I'm risking, Maharaj.
Yes. All right, dear devotees on Facebook, on Zoom, and who are with us in the recorded version, our humble obeisances to you, appreciation to you all, our encouragement to you all, and all in the big glories, the big jais, to wonderful Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai, to wonderful Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rock Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. To wonderful Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. And jai to Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is watching us all, seeing how his mission is going on around the world under the guidance of our guardians. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. And all coming from the heart of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. And from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Rupa Goswami and the Parampara, Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki jai. And all the assembled devotees ki jai. Jai to all our Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda ki jai. And jai Srila Trivikram Maharaj's Abhirbhav Titi Maha Mahotsav, the big festival. The Mahotsav, the eating part, will be on Saturday, I believe. Ki jai. No Zoom, we can't go to the feast, oh dear, except in separation. So Srila Trivikram Maharaj ki jai, and Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpa Turubhyascha, Kripa Sindubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And to all of
Srila
you,
Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
and to all of you, thank you for being with us. Great austerity for some, so late for our Brazilian section, and early for our St. Petersburg section, and a little late for our Florida, yes, quite late for our Florida section, no doubt, and the Californian section. Boy, every time is fine. And for India, fine. And I'm not sure where Anna is from. Maybe Anna is from America, a friend of Chintamani, perhaps. Not sure. But we look forward to having you all with us in the future. And Priyanana in the kitchen, by the looks of things. Kitchen hat. All right. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Jeevana, thank you so much for your contribution and your encore when we called you back to say more. Very wonderful.
Maharaj, a
Dandavat.
special dandavats from Ananda Moy Didi. Ananda Moy from
Brazil, Canada.
From Brazil, Canada, yes. And from Jai Dev Prabhu.
Okay, wonderful. You can see what I can't see, and we appreciate very much that you're with us. And I hope that your class went well. Ananda Moindiri, the class that you were giving at the Govinda Mela. I hope it all went well, and the devotees became even more devotional, and the newcomers became devotees. Jai. Dandavat to you all. Ami Ashchi. Have a wonderful week in service with full support, encouragement. Just remember Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.